Welcome everybody, welcome to my channel Pegasus, it's time to fly. First of all, Happy New Year. These have been pre-recorded towards the end of 2021, but I'm going to be publishing them just for the new year so that people can really have a close look at what we have coming in for all of us. So before I get to our 2022 and begin, I just wanted to say a couple of things. I think ultimately 2021 has been a year of highs and lows. I mean, speaking personally, it's been a year full of love, full of fun, forming new relationships. And it's been a year of endings and different transformation and that kind of thing. And I think there's been this real collective energy for all of us that coming on the back of 2020, we started January 2021 with we went into a lockdown and there was just this feeling of disconnection. I'm going to be probably mentioning some of that in the readings as we go forward. But I think that disconnection for me is probably a word that might describe how a lot of us have been feeling in this 2021 year. This year has been what we call from numerology a 5 year. Fives can be very challenging, and I have mentioned some of this on some of my posts. So fives can be this idea of climbing the mountain and having things fall in our pathway to make things that little bit more difficult, or to help us learn and grow, which ultimately is what any transformation is seeking for us to do. It has been a bit of a strange one in terms of this disconnection, because I think we started the year where lots of people were working from home, and of course we've now gone back into that towards the end of this year as we close. So there was this feeling of disconnection, and then coming out of it and this idea of unity, celebrations and love, and trying to get back to what we were considering as normal life for all of us, I suppose. And then quickly we fell into that sense of normality again, and now we're being sort of pulled back into this idea of distance. I just sort of wanted to mention that and mention the energy of that, and that, for some it has been a really difficult year. There have been some amazing things that have occurred this year, and sometimes it's good for us to remember that light with that shade as well. And so much hope for us all moving forward as we enter into this new year, which is actually a 6. So what does 6s mean for us then? Well, for me personally, 6 is coming out of a 5. It's this idea of hope and this sense of building something back up that maybe fell away. We're building this stronger, new foundation. And 6s are really prosperous years for love and relationships, any type of relationship. They seek to find calm after the storm of the 5 and present us with more harmonious, cooperative components, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So, I will see you in the readings. Thank you. Hi, my little Sagittarians. Welcome to your 2022 reading today with me on this channel, Pegasus, it's time to fly. I am working my way through all the signs at the moment, and I'm just going to actually explain to you how we're going to go about this reading today. So firstly, I am going to read a channeled message from Spirit, which every sign had an individual, a collective message. I'm then going to ask you to think of a question in your mind before we start the reading, and maybe it's something you wanted to ask about 2021, just so that we can close the door on it or get some clarity moving forward into today's reading. So you may want to pause the video while I'm doing the shuffle for that. Then I'm going to pick 12 of the tarot cards, one for each month for this year. And we're going to do a little bit of clarification with our angel energy cards. So that's going to give you maybe some heads up in what energy maybe you need to think about embodying for that particular month. So before I do that, I firstly just also want to say thank you for all the support for the channel, and if you do enjoy the readings, if you could make sure you give it a like and share if you think other people might be interested in watching the content as well. I would also like to say thank you for support in the last year, watching the videos and so on, and hope that you do continue. So before no further ado, I'm going to just for those of you maybe listening with headphones, you might want to take them out while I just give our singing bowl a bit of a jing, just to clear some of the energy, because like I said, that I have been doing quite a lot of readings. So here goes. Perfect. Okay, so I've also lit my happy candle that was a present. Yeah, just to give us a really nice little feel into the reading. So Sagittarius, where can we begin? Well, let's begin with your channeled message from Spirit. So I'm literally going to read, because when I channel, because I do a lot of channeling as a healer as well, and when I channel, I literally scribble down whatever comes out, and then I just then give it within my healings or within my sessions. So what Spirit have said directly today is some of the times you will choose to walk alone, and at other points of your life you will want to walk alongside people that care about your well-being. Okay, so that's really taking a look at the people in our lives then, is what Spirit's asking you to look at. It says this year will cause you to be extra discerning about who you journey with, for it's those people who will truly see you for who you are. So their parting message, slow and steady will win this race. So there you go, Sagittarius. What race are you going to be running or taking part in for 2022? Okay, so if you want to think about your question, I'm going to shuffle the cards for the angel answers. So you have a think, pause the video if you need to. Have a think about what you'd like to ask it. Okay, I'm going to give these a good shuffle because I've been doing some Instagram stuff with these cards recently. Don't know if you've checked that out. Check out my Instagram. So that's Wings Pegasus 1111. I do little reels and shorts and sometimes little readings. Okay, Sagittarius, what would you like to answer us, dear cards? Okay, you've got a couple here, which was not really the point, but I'm going to give you them anyway, because Sagittarians, you are ruled by the planet of Jupiter, so you kind of are quite fortunate and you do get a bit more than most. So in answer to your question, you had success, you had wait, and you had remain positive. Okay, so maybe we're just going to put this in a different order then. So in regards to what you asked for, they're asking you to wait, remain positive within this period, and this will lead to success. Well done, Sagittarius. It's a nice start to our reading, is it not? So I have really given these a good pre-shuffle. I know some of you like the shuffle on camera, and if there's comments about that, I'm sorry. I don't like to spend lots and lots of time doing this, so I do a massive total shuffle prior to the reading, but I do a little bit of one along the way. Okay, so reading. What can you tell us? Okay, this is looking really good. Okay, Ace of Cups January, Ten of Swords, both in reverse as well. Ten of Swords in reverse February, the Death card for March, the Justice card for April. This is looking really good, Sagittarius. The Moon in reverse for May, Seven of Wands in reverse for June, the Hanged Man July, the Strength card August, Nine of Wands September, Knight of Swords in reverse October, Six of Pentacles in November, and December, Temperance. So you end in December with your own card. Temperance is the card of Sagittarius. So that's a really nice energy to end the year with. Okay, so let's move forward with your reading. Oh, before I do, so the back of the deck I'm looking at as the overall energy for the year for you, Sagittarius. So for you, you have this Queen of Cups. So this is a really beautiful energy. This is a beautiful, loving energy. This can be water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So these energies could be surrounding you this year. And these energies are very loving, very honourable, very reliable. Somebody with this kind of unconditional ability to love you and care about you. So you're going to have that energy around you for the whole of that year. So that's superb. That's lovely news. Okay, so into January we have the Ace of Cups. So in reverse, this is saying that in January you're not going to be in a position of openness in terms of love. You may be very closed off to this idea of opening your heart to anyone or anything. And that's not to say that that's a really terrible thing. It's actually just saying that at the moment, even though you're trying to be upbeat and you're trying to be in a better, more positive energy for the start of this year, you are feeling just a little bit at the moment that your cup is still a little bit empty. And that's okay, because your overall energy was the Queen of Cups. So this energy can be that this year is all going to be about building your cup back up, helping it to become overfloweth with joy and love and all the things that kind of make us tick, whether we admit it or not. So with this card you have the Angel of Fun. Okay, so January, they want you to have fun, Sag. They want you to forget about all the difficulties that you've had and put that down for a moment and completely distract yourself with other things. They want you to just be in that childlike energy where you just do things because it's enjoyable and you don't have to think too much about it either. So I think January is going to be a bit of a time to have fun, relax with people that love you, try and love yourself a little bit more than you have been, and just have this knowledge that moving forward, your heart space will be opening again, and it will be being nourished through the year and in a much better place than perhaps it has been. Okay, going into February, we have the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords in the upright, people just think, oh, and you've got the Death card next to it as well in March. So, you know, often people see those cards and go into a panic. But for me, these are really lovely cards for you at the start of the year. The Ten of Swords in reverse feels like those swords are all falling out. The wounds are falling away now. You're starting to do some healing. The black skies are starting to clear. She's still there, and this character's, because it's a modern deck, this character's kind of looking at her phone. So be careful not to be a bit of a victim this month as well. Be careful not to be... I think you're shedding that energy, but I think in the past you've been in a little bit of, oh, poor me, victim, oh, woe is me kind of energy. And, you know, right or wrong, whether you were in your right to do that, it's now saying that you're feeling the need to let go of that energy because it's not helping the situation. Feels like there might be text messages back and forward from somebody. 10s are about completion, so it's like something's coming to an end. And it feels like with the Death card in next to it in the March position, something's coming to an end so something can begin. Okay. So along with that 10 of Swords in reverse, you have walking, the Angel of Walking. The Angel of Walking, the angels of walking are with you in the month of February. So it feels like you're coming out of something in February. I said that it feels like attitudes, you're dropping things. But it feels like you're walking away from the past, actually, or events of the past. And moving into March with this Death card, you're able to understand, you know, in the background of this card, there's this building with this light. And it's this idea of Pegasus going towards the light. It feels like you understand what your new beginning is. And with the Angel of Language, it's like now's a really good time to speak more positively to yourself and to the people within your social circles, your family. And now's a good time to have any talks or discussions that might deem to be really important, and just to have your voice heard. But have your voice heard in the right way. This Death card is the card of Scorpio, and Scorpios are very much very apt in transforming and going through changes in their lives as a sign. And this feels like perhaps that's an area you've had difficulties with in the past, is letting go of certain things. And now's the time to let go and shed old behaviours. Let go of, but this is saying these are your behaviours, by the way. Because sometimes I could read this might be not accepting certain behaviours from other people. And I think there has been a good deal of that as well. But in this circumstance, it's saying it's time for you to walk towards this light, which is obviously enlightenment, and to fly the flag. So it's not all doom and gloom. We don't need to look at this Death card and think, God, this is really terrible. It's not. It's actually, Death flies this flag, you know, this black flag with this white lily on it. And this is like this flag of surrender. And it's this idea of surrendering so that you can learn something very important. And the language that you use and what you learn from this or derive from this current lesson is really important in terms of how you communicate. Yeah, your communication skills. Okay, going into April, we have the Justice card. So it feels like coming away from this 10 of Swords and going into this rebirth of March. By April, it's like you're gaining more balance. So it's like you're getting justice regarding something in your life. So it's feeling in some way that you've been heard and the truth has come to the surface. It feels like you've understood your own truth as well. And actually, once you've put down all the swords and, you know, any sort of toxicity that might have been around you, or, you know, you may have been a relationship, may have been a working scenario. It feels like you're going to shed a lot of that and you're going to speak your truth and you're going to gain more clarity and just feel more happy in more of an equal balance with who you really are. Starting moving towards things in your life which are going to be more about what really drives you and what's important to you. You have the card of knowledge with Justice. So perhaps some piece of information will come to light in the month of April that will make so much sense, and you'll really feel sort of exonerated regarding some specific situation. So was there something that you felt was not communicated in the right way? Do you feel like something was an injustice? In April, it feels like that's going to come into balance. You're going to come into knowledge. And you know what? Often, I mean, sometimes when we have a sense of justice, it does feel really good because it feels like it's authentic. It feels like it's the right thing. But sometimes it also allows us, along with this death card, to let go of things and say, well, that makes sense. Justice has been done. And now it's time for me to move forward into new areas and to new things. And that leads us really nicely on to May. And you have the Moon card. There's quite a lot of major arcana in your spread. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5. Okay. So yeah, it's about half major arcana. So I think it's going to be quite a significant year, 2022 for you, Sag. And with the Moon card in reverse, it feels like round about May time, perhaps you're feeling a little bit like you don't really know what direction you're going to go forward with. Maybe you're still feeling a little bit lost in terms of what you do next. But that's okay, because sometimes we just need to be living in the present, and we don't always need to know. Sometimes we need to give it to the universe to say, well, I'm just going to cooperate and live in the moment, be harmonious, and see where it takes me. You have the card of career with this Moon card. So maybe this idea of what you do for work is confusing to you right now. It's like even when I'm reading this card, it's kind of confusing me. And when I do readings, that doesn't really happen. Sometimes I'm trying to clarify Spirit's message, but I normally know instantly when I look at the cards what the message is. And it feels like with this career card, you're confused in the month of May. Are you feeling like things aren't as clear as they used to be with how you want to proceed? Do you feel like you're not sure about stuff that's going on for you at the moment? Perhaps you're being introduced to new things and it feels a little bit clouded, so you just can't see the way. And Sagittarius, as a sign, as a fire sign, you like to see the way. You like to know what's going on, what the route is, what the plan is. And it kind of feels like for the start of the year, and I certainly feel like for 2021, you normally sit in this very comfortable position as a character where you're in control of the things in your life and you have a very can-do attitude. So you can be very practical, and because of the fire in you, you're an action person. You like to get things done. And it feels like for some time now, the universe has kind of decided that you need to be in more of a contemplative state rather than in an action state. So something is definitely going to happen within your career around the May time. That could be just taking on new things. It could be perhaps you don't see the ultimate goal in the way that you used to, so you're reframing. Maybe that'd be a really good time for you to reframe. But it feels like whatever you do, it will all become clear and it will be successful for you. Okay, so then we go into June and we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. Again, this is fire sign energy, your own energy, but this could also be somebody else in the energy of Aries, Leo, or Sag. And it feels like sevens, you're kind of trying to reach this point of success. You're trying to go towards something that you would like to achieve. And with this in reverse, it feels like you don't need to fight anymore. You don't need to know all the answers. you're out of this energy of defending yourself. Perhaps in the past there was senses of, I need to defend myself, I need to fight my corner. It feels like by June you won't feel the need to do that anymore. You're going to be heading towards a more harmonious time, a time where you don't need to be on guard. You can see things from a much nicer, clearer perspective. It feels like you're going to be triumphant in something, and you have the card of love. So the angels of love are around you in the month of June. Well, that's really nice. So if there's going to be this feeling of love and feeling loved and giving love, you know, giving and receiving. And I think that's going to be something that you really have needed. But I think that you weren't able to embody this energy or even allow this energy until March, April time, when you felt like you had come to the other side of an issue. So you had definitely accepted that there was this need for this new beginning. And acceptance, they're telling me, was an important part of this journey and this lesson for you, Sagittarius. It's like you've had to accept something within your life that you can't control, isn't your fault. You are passionate about it and you do care about it, or you did care about it, but you understand that you need to energize yourself and become more present within your own life, and maybe tend to this garden of love that you perhaps abandoned for a while, or that you didn't put as much effort into. Okay, so June, that's going to really start turning for you. So in July we have the Hanged one, but it's the Hanged Man in the deck. And so this amounts to, it's number 12 within the Fool's Journey, the Hanged Man. And 1 and 2 add up to 3, obviously, within numerology. So these 3s are really about you really developing in some way and moving forward. Moving forward on gaining new perspectives, and maybe you're seeing something from another person's point of view now. Perhaps you're understanding something in a better way, and so you're able to react more effectively and respond to people more effectively. Okay, can we have an angel card? Okay, so yeah, I think it's understanding others, and it could be on the back of this work card. I feel like it's to do with love and to do with work for you. So you have the angel card of teamwork. So the angels really want to bring this to the surface. They want you to really look at teamwork from a totally different perspective. It's really calling for you to want to be part of something else other than just yourself. That this isn't this lonely journey that you walk, you know, that was part of your channeled message about the people you walk with. And sometimes, like Spirit said, you like to walk alone, Sagittarius. Perhaps you're realising that walking alone isn't fulfilling you, doesn't fulfill you. But at the same time, it's getting this balance between entering into something within this energy of desperation or codependency. So it's finding balance within yourself and then applying those lessons, I guess, to being open and being able to open our heart to those around us. And like I say, that's work and play. Okay, whoop, that one jumped out, so we obviously want us to see this card. Wow. So you saw on camera that card just flipped. Now, those of you that know my readings know that when Spirit really want to give me a message, they flip cards, which is constantly. But I normally shuffle until they flip. But we have the Strength card for August in the Arcana, and then we have the Strength card in the Angel card that flipped. So this is like double confirmation for you. The month of August, it requires you to find your inner strength. The angels are telling you that they are with you as well. So whatever this scenario is that will call for this deep inner strength, they are surrounding you at this time. This is a yellow card, so it feels like this could be a month where this introspection can potentially cause pain. So in the month of August, are you going through some real inner difficulty that could potentially become a toxic cycle within yourself? The angels of strength have clarified in this supporting mode, and they're looking, this angel looks directly at this strength card. This is the card of Leo, this strength card. And another fire sign like yourself. This Leo energy is very loving, and it's this idea of taming these thoughts, taming your inner thoughts, these inner demons, this side of us that can be not so pretty, this shadow side, this idea of this ferocious nature. And it feels like that lion, this lady here she doesn't say too much, she literally almost puts her arms and her hands around this lion, which from an outside perspective seems like a pretty crazy thing to do, because we all know that lions are quite ferocious. So it feels like this ferocity that I'm talking about is you, Sagittarius. I feel like you may be turning it on yourself though. So this might become some behaviour that Spirit are asking you to look at, and look at very clearly. It's a behaviour that isn't kind, is not compassionate. You're not loving yourself in the way that you should. There's this ability for growth here. If you can internalize and identify this behavior within yourself, and identify that it's something that needs to be transformed, it can be a real time of growth for you. And I think it could be a time where you have these epiphany moments. These feel like cycles that have been going on a very long time. And this lady that's obviously trying to calm this lion down, she's this very loving energy. And this is your higher self talking to these lower vibrational energies within you. And your higher self, along with your angels and your spirit guides, are asking you to do something different. Change this up in some way. Try and look at things from a completely new perspective, like the Hanged Man in July. This is an energy going through into August. Perhaps there'll be some scenarios within your love or within your work life where you need to tame your anger or tame your reaction so that you can be more balanced. Sorry, my camera went to standby then, Sagittarius. And then I thought I just needed to adjust the light of the room anyway. So I have a quick drink of my coffee as well. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, I was talking about this need for balance in your life in terms of rest and work and play. So maybe it's calling for you to really have a look at this, at how you restructure your daily routines and things like that. Okay, so going into October, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. So in the upright, this is a very fast moving motion. So this feels like you are taking a pause, maybe on the back of this, taking some rest here. And I think that pause in October is going to be very good for you. Maybe you're going to do a lot more meditation, or go and have a break, or take some time out to just be within your own thoughts. It feels like the communication, maybe you'll take a month off, or you won't work that month, so you won't be communicating as much. You have the card of animals as well. So I don't know whether this is a pet, or whether you work with animals, or what that basically is about. But literally it's in terms of, sometimes you're going to really relate to nature and animals. And sometimes that communication, non-communication, that animals are very good at connecting with us, is that sense of being tactile and just showing unconditional love. So maybe you've got a pet, or you've got a chance to be with animals in some setting that is going to be really therapeutic for you, then I would say take that opportunity in October, because that would be really good. But yeah, it's just this idea of slowing things down. We talked about looking at your daily schedule. Maybe you're overdoing things, but in the month of October, it's really asking you to reel things back in a little bit, and take a slower pace in terms of whether that's with your working environment, or just generally taking a rest from social media. It can be taking a rest from communication with people that you know aren't good for you. Can be toxic, can be negative, or can be draining. It's saying take a bit of a rest from those energies. And if you can be around animals and pets and that sort of thing, then that's going to be really good for you in the month of October. Moving into November, you have the Six of Pentacles. And it feels like things are really, having taken that rest, restructuring the way you do things, the way you think about things, it's going to have a really good impact in November for you. The Six of Pentacles, this is an earth sign. So if this is people in general, this is people in the star sign of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But it's this feeling of giving and taking, and it being in the right amount of balance. So either somebody's coming into your life or into your reality, which I like to see the coins as. When something comes into earth energy, it's something tangible that we can touch or we can feel, or is something within our life or our reality that is important to us. And with it being a 6, and we're in a 6th year, as I mentioned in the introduction, this idea of 6 is going to be really powerful for us next year, and it's going to be very grounding. This is going to be a really good energy for us, anything in the number of 6. It's going to be this idea of the seeds that we've sown are now going to start to grow. And these people here within this card, this lady's giving out gifts and they're receiving, and whether you're the person receiving or whether you're the person giving in this card, it's saying to you this is a really positive energy for you to be in this month of October. You have it with the card of synchronicity. Everything has a purpose and a meaning. Now, I can see this idea of synchronicity in this card. You know, the synchronicity of this person decided to give these people the gift. Now, who's giving the gift? Is she giving the gift by giving, or are they giving the gift by receiving? You know, it's this tangible question of which relevance does this have to your life, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Sometimes they make things so difficult and they show me these ideas of what they want me to say, and sometimes I get confused. So yeah, it's I suppose what I'm trying to say is this idea when people say, oh gosh, people that give and do charity work and volunteer are selfless. And it's this idea that I remember Phoebe and Friends once saying that actually there is no selfless act, because even when we do things for other people, it makes us feel good. So this energy of giving, receiving, whatever way you want to take it, it's going to be really good for you in the month of November. Then we go into December, and we're really finishing the year off with a sense of enthusiasm. It feels like this December 2022 is completely different from the one we've just experienced. Now, I don't know what the one you've just experienced was like, but it feels like next Christmas is going to be a much better experience for you. You're going to be more enthusiastic. You're going to be in a better situation. domestic situation or life situation. Everything is going to be less of a chore, more of a joyful energy, which is great. So, as I said in the start, the card of Sagittarius is your major arcana for December. And this angel is really, she's really been working hard to help support you and for you to come into your own balance emotionally. When something is tempered, sometimes it's put under extreme temperatures in order for it to be moulded or to bend, and that's really what this card is saying to you. You know, it may have felt within the last year or maybe the last 2 years even that there's been this immense pressure that you felt that you've been put under in order to evolve. And it feels like by the end of this year you're really coming into this sense of healing yourself, your heart space, healing energies within other relationships of your life also. And it's like, see how much colour is in this picture. I often look at these cards and I see the symbolism to do with our energy meridians, which are called chakras. So in some of the cards, there's usually more of a predominant colour, and often I can relate it predominantly to one particular area or focus. But this Temperance card, and I've only just realised this in your reading, it kind of has all of the different chakra colours, all 7 of them, within this one card in kind of equal amount. It feels like the red's slightly more predominant, which is your root chakra, and that's a really positive note because that's your first chakra, and this is known as your root meridian, and this is really about your sense of security in the world and in yourself. It feels like you feel more stable. Perhaps you feel more safe within yourself and within your life than you did previously. But this solar plexus, this yellow energy is prevalent. We see the sun in the background and the cups are yellow. We have this blue of the water, which is our emotions, but also our communication. We have the green of the hills, this idea of something being fertile and this growth in your heart space. And yeah, it feels like you're in a much more balanced, healthy place as you close 2022, Sagittarius. And that makes me really happy to see that for you. And as I said, we did start off with this energy of the Queen of Cups. And I think that you will embody this energy in the year, and I think you'll be surrounded by it also. Have a truly wonderful year, Sagittarius.